Imagine a pendulum swinging back and forth, tick, tock, left, right. It's a simple motion, almost too simple to seem powerful. Yet sometimes the most profound changes in the human body come from movements that feel almost effortless. In the modern world, we're constantly told that improving our health requires extreme effort. Long gym sessions, heavy weights, intense workouts that leave you exhausted and drenched in sweat. But what if one of the most powerful habits for transforming your body is something you learned before you could even speak? Walking. For most of human history, walking wasn't exercise, it was simply life. Our ancestors walked to find food, explore new land, follow migrating animals, and connect with other communities. The human body evolved under these conditions, long periods of steady, low-intensity movement. But today, many of us spend most of our time sitting. Cars replace walking, screens replace movement. And slowly, our biology begins to drift away from what it was designed to do. So, what actually happens if you reclaim that natural rhythm and commit to walking every single day? Let's define what we mean first. This isn't about slowly wandering around the house or taking a casual stroll to the corner store. We're talking about intentional walking at a brisk pace for about 30 minutes a day. Your breathing should become slightly deeper and your heart rate should rise. You should still be able to hold a conversation, but singing a song would probably feel like too much effort. Before starting any new daily activity, it's always wise to check with a healthcare professional, especially if you have heart conditions, joint issues, or long periods of inactivity behind you. Now let's take a look at what begins happening inside your body. Within the first few days, subtle changes begin almost immediately. Every step you take applies gentle pressure to your joints. This process, called mechanical loading, plays a critical role in joint health. Cartilage, the smooth tissue that cushions your joints, doesn't have its own direct blood supply. Instead, it relies on movement to receive nutrients. As you walk, your joints compress and release rhythmically, allowing synovial fluid to circulate through your knees, hips, and ankles. Think of it like lubricating a hinge that hasn't moved in a while. With motion, the joint becomes smoother, more nourished, and better protected. At the same time, your cardiovascular system responds to the increased demand. Your leg muscles begin consuming more energy in the form of ATP, the molecule that powers nearly every process in your cells. Producing that energy requires oxygen, so your heart starts beating faster to deliver oxygen-rich blood where it's needed most. Inside your blood vessels, a thin lining called the endothelium senses the increased blood flow. In response, it releases nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and widens your blood vessels. This allows blood to move more freely through your circulatory system, improving oxygen delivery throughout your body. You might notice some mild soreness in your calves or legs during these first few days. That's normal. Your muscles are experiencing tiny microscopic stresses. In response, the body repairs them, making them slightly stronger than before. Your calf muscles also play another important role during walking. Each contraction acts like a pump, helping push lymphatic fluid back toward the upper body. This supports the removal of metabolic waste and helps maintain fluid balance in your tissues. By the end of the first week, something interesting begins happening between your brain and your muscles. Your nervous system becomes more efficient at coordinating movement. The motor cortex in your brain starts refining how and when different muscle fibers activate. Movements that felt awkward or tiring during the first few days suddenly feel smoother and easier. It's almost like your body has installed a software update for walking. But the metabolic changes happening beneath the surface are even more impressive. Within about a week of regular walking, your muscles become more sensitive to insulin. This means your body can pull glucose from the bloodstream more efficiently and use it as fuel instead of storing it as fat. This improvement in insulin sensitivity is one of the key reasons regular walking is associated with better blood sugar control and a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Meanwhile, your brain begins releasing chemicals that directly influence your mood and stress levels. After a brisk walk, your body produces endorphins and endocannabinoids, natural compounds that reduce pain and elevate mood. That's why many people feel mentally lighter or calmer after a walk. You're not just moving your body, you're actively reducing stress hormones and shifting your nervous system toward a more relaxed state. As the weeks continue, your body enters what we might call a strengthening phase. Inside your muscle cells are tiny structures called mitochondria. These are essentially the power plants that generate energy for your cells. When you walk consistently, your body begins producing more of them in a process known as mitochondrial biogenesis. In simple terms, your internal energy engine becomes larger and more efficient. Your circulatory system adapts as well. To supply oxygen to these newly energized muscles, your body begins forming additional microscopic blood vessels. This process, called angiogenesis, increases the density of capillaries throughout your muscles. The result is better oxygen delivery and improved endurance. Your metabolism also gradually becomes more efficient at burning fat for fuel. Because brisk walking is a steady aerobic activity, your body learns to rely more on fat stores for long-lasting energy rather than quickly burning through carbohydrates. Even your connective tissues respond. Tendons, the thick bands that connect muscles to bones, gradually become stronger and more resilient with regular movement. But perhaps the most fascinating transformation happens when this habit continues for several months. After about 3 months of consistent walking, your body begins showing long-term structural adaptations. Every step you take sends a small mechanical signal through your bones. According to a biological principle known as Wolff's law, bones respond to this type of stress by becoming denser and stronger. Over time, this can significantly reduce the risk of osteoporosis and fractures later in life. Your heart becomes more efficient as well. Many people notice their resting heart rate slowly dropping as the heart muscle strengthens and pumps blood more effectively. Yet one of the most remarkable effects appears inside the brain. Regular aerobic movement stimulates the release of a molecule called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Scientists often describe BDNF as fertilizer for the brain. It supports the growth and survival of neurons and encourages the formation of new neural connections. This process is especially active in the hippocampus, a region of the brain deeply involved in memory and learning. Large scientific studies have shown that people who maintain regular walking habits often experience lower rates of cognitive decline and dementia later in life. In other words, those simple daily steps may be quietly supporting the long-term health of your brain. Of course, balance is important. If someone who has been inactive for a long time suddenly jumps into long, intense daily walks, the body may push back. Overuse injuries can occur when tissues are asked to handle more stress than they're ready for. Conditions like plantar fasciitis, which causes heel pain, or shin splints irritation along the front of the lower leg, can appear when progress happens too quickly. The solution is simple: gradual progression. Allow the body time to adapt. Another thing to remember is that the human body is incredibly good at adapting. After a while, the same 30-minute walk may no longer challenge your system as much as it once did. At that point, small changes can keep progress moving forward. Walking slightly faster, choosing hillier routes, extending your distance, or occasionally adding light resistance like a backpack can provide the extra stimulus your body needs. But beyond all the science, daily walking represents something deeper. It's not punishment for eating too much over the weekend. It's not an exhausting battle against calories. It's simply returning to a rhythm your body has known for thousands of generations. Step after step, day after day, you're reinforcing a pattern your biology understands perfectly. A quiet signal that you intend to stay capable, strong, and mentally sharp for years to come. So here's a simple question. How many steps do you usually take in a typical day? And if you decided to raise that number just a little starting today, where would your first walk take you?